Leesa, this is a beautiful place.
It really is. Such a nice environment to spend an afternoon.
You know, it's a shame we have these dear friends that have this beautiful place, property that they've purchased over the years and paid for and created these lovely gardens, and the government actually considers the property to belong to the government. If we don't pay our property taxes on our property, what happens?
They'll take your property.
So that makes us renters, not owners of property. The first plank of the Communist Manifesto says that the government should own all land and that the people would be renters only, so that they could work for the government and for the common good, and the government is the ruler of all production.
That sounds like where we are today in our own nation.
Well, if you don't pay your property tax, the government comes and takes your property. So today we have landowners, homeowners, elderly people who have worked all their life to buy a home, a modest home, and when their income becomes restricted, when they have retirement, which is insufficient, and when the dollar gets less and less valuable so that you can purchase less and less with the income that you do have, then you can't pay your property taxes. And the government comes and takes your property.
I know, it's true, it happens.
And it's wrong.
It is wrong. It is wrong. People work hard, and as we said, you know, I grew up on a farm in South Georgia and am blessed that my family still is there on that farm and can continue to live there. But for how many more years will that be true, because of the heavy burden of taxation and also regulation from our government?
Yes.
That you can't even do with your own property what you choose to do, because they're going to tell you that you can or cannot do certain things on your own property. And to me, that just doesn't seem right.
No, it's not right.
Because we worked for that property. It should belong to us, but it appears that it belongs to our government.
Exactly. And the Declaration of Independence says that we formed a government to secure life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the preamble to the Constitution says that we're forming this document to secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. And we know that liberty and life can't be separated, because if I'm dead, I don't need my liberty. And liberty and property can't be separated, because if I have property like this and I've worked to build barns and plant gardens, that's part of my time and part of my life. So if the government takes that away, they've taken part of my life and part of my liberty. The Fifth Amendment says that life, liberty, and property will not be taken away, will not be deprived of life, liberty, or property except by due process of law. And when we look at the Georgia Constitution, in the very first article, in the first section and the first paragraph, we're told that the state of Georgia will defend the life, liberty, and property of its citizens. But that's not what happens anymore.
That's not what's happening.
And do you know that in our country we have decimated agriculture and industry? Today, a farmer, if he sells his land, that's his retirement. If he gives his land to his son, then he has no retirement. And if he sells his land to his son, there's no way that his son can farm it. The only way for a family to keep their property in the family is for the next generation to earn a living outside of agriculture, make very large profits, so that they can write the check for the retirement of the family farm, of the farmer who has worked in this most recent generation. We're stealing property from our homeowners, from our farmers. We need to eliminate property tax. We need to eliminate income tax and use a consumption tax so that we protect the life, liberty, and property of our citizens in Georgia.
And it is, you're so right about that. I spoke with a man just last night who talked about his son farming, and I asked him, I said, your son farms and he makes a living at that? And he said, oh, no.
No.
He has a job and he farms in the evenings and on the weekend. You know, I think back on my childhood, and we grew up on the farm and we worked on the farm, and that was how we made our living.
Yes. And,
you know, I'm very thankful to have that heritage. And it also, you know, it teaches people hard work. But it's sad because now, you know, we grew up thinking that you work hard and you take care of things and you do the right things, and then, you know, the result is that you have this property for your family. But now that's not true anymore.
Well, and not only the land, but also your savings or your retirement.
Exactly.
If you put money from your paycheck into a bank account and save it, the purchasing power of those dollars goes down. So you're actually losing what you've worked for, because the government is printing more and more dollars that they use to do things that we don't want done.
Exactly.
And if you put your money in the stock market, your stock value seems to go up. And maybe you'll make a profit if you take your stock out at the right time, but we've all seen that the values are not real. It's a paper value that is not sustainable. A nation must be productive to be strong. And in our nation, we've decimated agriculture and industry. The things that are driving productive capacity off of our shores have been done intentionally. This is not acceptable to me.